म्हणून मला आवडतच नाही. आणि मग मला असं येईल.
Hello and welcome. You are watching the Policy Times evening show. Policy Times has been tirelessly and continuously bringing you the experts from across the world to talk on many different but interesting issues. And we just have only one motto, that bringing or making the world a very peaceful, progressive, and powerful community, a society. At the same time, also making India equally a peaceful, powerful, and progressive country. Now, when we talk about progress, without mentioning the role of micro enterprises or MSMEs or startups, because the role, contribution, and the massive amount of support system that this startup ecosystem provides to the national growth model, to the entrepreneurship, model, and the employment generation model, and as well as the revenue generation is enormous. Because most of the companies across the world that you see are innovators or big innovations, mostly they come from the micro and startup ecosystem. Now, the other aspect of is that most of the community development or outreach impact initiatives have also been very much well connected with the micro enterprise ecosystem. I think to talk on that, I cannot be more prouder than the moment of this, of introducing some of the experts from joining us from different country. And I would request, so you can see in our screen the experts who are joining us today, but I would request all our eminent panelists to introduce themselves in a couple of words. So Policy Times, in partnership with US Impact, P Combinator, Auto Nebula, and then Passion Framework, we decided that we will have a regular and dedicated show to promote and empower India's and world's entrepreneurs and small companies and MSMEs. So this is our initiative. I want to welcome also Dr. Prakash Sharma, who is a global brand ambassador of Global Startup Ecosystem and has been tirelessly working to promote every individual of the country, any part of the country, to become an entrepreneur. And Dr. Sharma, welcome, and a few words from you.
Thanks. I have actually initiated Passion Framework with a view to actually improve the research ecosystem as for the entrepreneurs. So we collaborate with multiple seniors and then co-create business opportunities through this such collaboration. So it is the entrepreneurship, then research and employment generation. These are the three focus areas for Passion Framework. We have 350 plus seniors who are closely working with us, and over 1,500 plus seniors who are actually shown interest. And in this COVID period, we have actually nearly around 10 startup spin-offs by the seniors itself. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm making I provide low-cost education to the students in only 500 rupees advanced IT training program, so that it is affordable to the individuals who cannot invest in high-cost education. So that is it.
Super. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Now, may I request our panelists to introduce themselves in just 30 seconds, and then we'll get into the program of today. So maybe I request Pradeep Lokhande.
No, ladies first. Ladies first.
Oh, ladies first. Excellent. So Krishna and maybe then ma'am, Dr. Yogita. Krishna.
Excited to know you. Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna, if you can introduce yourself in 30
sure.
seconds.
Awesome. So I'm Christina Glancy. I am the community manager for GSE, Global Startup Ecosystem. I help run the accelerators, the digital ambassadors program that Prakash is a part of, and I am moving on to the virtual recruitment. So I generally do a lot of outreach. I'm based in DC, Washington, DC. So I do a lot of outreach locally and internationally. I'm extremely passionate about having conversations with people to change policy and change the way that they view their environments. So thank you all for having me here. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Yogita.
Hello, I'm Yogita Kasture, based out of Nagpur. And I've been into skill development, and now I'm designing some new age skill programs for youth and women for their empowerment. Apart from that, I am mentoring startups, basically from the institute, as well as I am actually working with a lot of women entrepreneur groups to help them understand how the growth and development of their business can be done. So I've been working on some GIZ projects for innovations and MSMEs, and prior to that in slum improvement projects and agricultural capacity building. And have been working with a couple of good incubators for short times, and now I am into freelancing. So, ready to take up anything for anybody who needs help in these kind of things.
Amazing.
And my
Amazing. Yeah.
developing an alternate pedagogy for our existing education system. I mean, I feel the education system, although it creates a very wonderful foundation for us, there is something which actually needs to be added on. There's some value addition required to cope up with, the new age or the global kind of competition.
Thank
That's
you,
what
ma'am.
I'm.
Thank you so much. So, Thatch, yeah, a few words about yourself, Thatch. Can you unmute yourself?
Thatch, you're muted.
Okay. In Vietnam, people call me the man of books, the man of library. I developed the civil library system in Vietnam. So our initiative have about 2 million children to have a book for reading in rural area. So in coming year, it's about 15 million children have a book to read. So we have very simple model. It's kind of sharing economy. One parent in rural area contribute $2 or $3 US per year to build classroom library so that their children can read about 100 or 200 books. So I also went to India to shake hands with Mr. Lokhandi, Mr. Asit to develop the library there, and we also work in India, work for book. So,
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So nice to have you. And then may I request Mr. Vu Thoi to introduce, please? You have to unmute, sir. First.
Wait, I am calling him.
Oh, no, he's there. He just
I don't see him.
Yeah, because I'm running this screen, no?
You see him?
Yeah, I can see him. He has to unmute just. Sir, can you unmute yourself? Do you know how to unmute?
Unmute कसं करायचं असतं?
Okay. So, sir, please try to unmute yourself. In the meantime, I'll come to Pradeep, sir. Pradeep Lokhandeji. Can you introduce yourself, sir? You are already unmuted.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Please go on, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. We are working on 3 verticals.
Yes, please go on, sir.
One, we are opening the libraries in rural secondary school in rural India. Second, we are creating the encyclopedia of rural India, which will benefit practically everybody. And third, we are creating entrepreneurs in rural India, and that is our professional activity. So we'll discuss in details when time permits. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Mr. Vu, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back now. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Please go on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vũ Thoại from Vietnam. Some years ago, I was principal upon a government school in Vietnam, and now I'm the CEO of Vietnam Sandalwood Groups. In Vietnam, now we are developing Indian sandalwood in Vietnam. We cooperate with some Indian company and some Indian scientists to develop sandalwood plant in Vietnam. and we have some program to help the poor people in the rural areas to grow sandalwood and other crops so that they can have a sustainable life in Vietnam. And then we also for every sandalwood grow in Vietnam, we spend some small money to buy the book for the poor children in Vietnam. And I already joined with Mr. Nguyễn Quang Thạch for the program for the book for the poor children in India, and growing the plants in India to fight the climate changing in India and in the world also. And we hope that our activity can bring the sustainable development for the poor people in Vietnam as well as the people in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, since we started this program with the slogan that ladies first, so I'll come to ladies first now. And maybe Christian, I want to start with you. The question, like the theme of the session today, outreach impact using relevant stakeholders for micro entrepreneurship initiative. So now, what is a good model of micro enterprises or entrepreneurship to actually make a visible impact on the ground for the community development?
So in the US, it's very segmented. Thank you for the question. That was a really good question. In the US, for real community development impact, you have to segment your approach, right? So in DC, we're split up in 8 wards. I can't do the same level of outreach in Ward 1 and Ward 8 because there are different demographics. And that same approach is the same way regionally and internationally. You have to figure out who you're really trying to target and work on what their needs are. It really has to be super, super customizable to get the buy-in. I work with a lot of underserved communities, and you have to make them make sure that you hear them, see them, and understand what they need before you come in their community and try to take over. That will create a huge backlash and revert all of your progress. So it has to be really customizable to who exactly your audience is.
Excellent. I want to come to Mr. Pradeep Lokhande. You have taken a lot of initiatives. Now, can you brief about your initiatives, which has had a huge impact on the ground?
Should I talk about the social initiatives or should I talk about the commercial initiatives?
Some of the social initiatives which have had huge both impact. Both impact. You can.
Okay. One initiative we launched in 2001, way back, where the concept was like this. Practically every Indian is NRV, non-resident villager. Either from father side or a mother side, you have a root somewhere or the other. Do something for that village and India will be changed India.
Absolutely.
Why that village? Because of that village, we are talking to each other. So, in our country, there are a lot of thoughts, a lot of activities, a lot of things, but the action is required. So what we have done, we have given action to this concept, non-resident NRV movement. In that, we have asked the people, don't throw your old computer, give it to us. We will install that computer in a school where their computer has a subject of 100 marks, but they teach computer on a blackboard. Shame on all of us. So charity starts at home. I belong to a place called Y, which is very 100 odd kilometers from Pune, where we have installed 4 used computers. I'm talking about used computers. And believe me, friends, between 2001 and 2010, I'm not a celebrity, but in spite of that, we are instrumental to install more than 28,300 computers in 18,400 schools across 7 states. It's done. If the program is perfect, make it as transparent as possible. I know that in this world, nothing is total transparent, but make it as transparent as possible and connect the 2 dots. and you are through, and you are through in that concept. So that was a very successful. Similarly, now we are doing a library. Again, I think I'll talk that afterwards. Now coming back to professional. Now the entire world is looking at rural India. Everybody wants to go to rural India. And you all know, but for your kind information, 17% population of the world stays in rural India. It's a number. It's a huge, huge number. And out of that now, there are a lot of rural Indians are a middle class. Means they want everything what is available in this world. So again, in that what we have done, we have created one concept called village developer, where the youth from a village will work in a village. And we have sold stories to both the corporate and to that youth. The story to youth was, if you are earning 15,000 rupees in your village, it is as good as earning 50,000 rupees in metro. So you better stay there, we will give you the work. And the story sold to the MNCs is, your Thai wala can go there, but he cannot connect them because he does not understand the ecosystem of that area.
Thank you.
And it was a huge success. So we have given more than 7,000 youth work in rural India, and it is a loose alliance. That is the uniqueness of this activity. Neither they are an employee of Pradeep Lokhande nor of that particular corporate.
Thank you.
And these are the two. Then we'll come to a particular specific activities. Thank you.
As and when possible. Okay, I want to come to Dr. Yogita Kasturi. Wonderful. Now, half of India's population is women. And we can't underestimate and ignore the contribution of women in any economy, any part of the world. Now, many statistics researchers say that if all the women in India are employed or given the entrepreneurship opportunity, India's GDP will double from where it is now. So now, I want to have from your perspective, like what common challenges do our women entrepreneurs face when they, as per your initiative, the initiatives that you take, what are the kind of challenges they face and how do they overcome them? How are you helping them to overcome them?
Thank you for this very, basic question, which actually brings out a very great discrimination that although, we are women equality and other things are really gaining wonderful attention, and women are coming out and also participating in various of the roles. Still, we find that in India, only 14% of the women are actually entrepreneurs, which means only 8 million of women are entrepreneurs as against 50 million men entrepreneurs, which I feel could be increased. We are not at all discriminating the capabilities of, the gender-biased entrepreneurs. But then what is happening is the women in the household doesn't find herself taking up that risk to come out and do some kind of entrepreneurial activity. Whereas if you see in the entire household, woman is always doing the internal entrepreneurial activity when she is promoting some concept to her husband and her in-laws, making her children take up her ideas or doing something, making them do that, advocating those kind of things. Okay. So she could be actually a wonderful entrepreneur given the kind of support. Nowadays, with the family support, we can see that a lot of women entrepreneurs are coming forward. But the best thing that could happen is most of these women entrepreneurs, if you see, are into trading. I mean, they get something from somewhere, maybe jewelry, maybe garments, maybe various other handicraft articles or something like that, and they are selling them to various places. But what could be the best would be that they get into the manufacturing part. There are a lot of women entrepreneurs who are into a cottage industry, what we used to be termed as, and household thing. They are making pickles, they are making papads, they are making wonderful what you can say, snacks.
Yeah. Right. Please go on.
Hello?
Any issue?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the.
Yogita, I think you got a phone call, so please don't
Yeah.
receive the calls
Sure.
because
No worries.
we are running it
Let's
so
go ahead.
live.
Sorry for the interruption. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what I feel is the challenge is that the woman needs to be aware that you could take a risk, and there is no. I mean, they feel that they have nobody to fall back. If I have been, interviewing so many ladies who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, but what happens is they don't want to go out of the house. They want to do something which could be, a household thing. So they are not ready to market that. So concept of marketing has to be inculcated in these ladies. They have to made capable of, marketing, because unless they market their own product, somewhere or the other, it's not going to be sustainable. Even if you say the SHGs, there are the self-help groups. But what happens is they do the production is very clear, but they do a lot of good production, qualitative production. But after a while, this goes off because all of them want to produce, all of them want to create something. Nobody takes an initiative in saying that, okay, I will go ahead and market. Although there are very good online platforms coming across, what I feel is the awareness regarding the total entrepreneurial cycle needs to be actually created. A campaign needs to be created by the government and or maybe the NGOs can also help. And this way, the woman can, come out of the house and take a risk and say that, okay, 2 lakhs doesn't matter. I am ready to give in my 2 lakhs to take up this business. This is the major challenge. And the second most important part is all our schemes and policies. They are majorly available in a language which is very complicated. If you look at the MSME portal, you will find that there are various schemes available for women. But does the ground level women who want to start a tiffin box kind of a entrepreneur venture, can she read that? No. So somebody has to go to her, she has to go to various offices, get things done. So I think the ease of doing business for women entrepreneurs, at least, there is a vast scope for developing this part to it.
Thank you. I want to come to Thach because I want to have opening comments from everyone. Thach, I want to come to you with a very simple question because you are running the largest, I think, online library from Vietnam. What policies do you think will help kids to make more low cost education, like affordable and better skilling, and will improve the cultural values in the kids and youngsters?
So first one, in Vietnam, I developed the civil library system. The first one, I myself a devoted person, and I mobilized a lot of fund from a lot of books and fund from the by crowdfunding. So and then I use very small money from my funds to go to rural area. And I use very small money to in one school there are about 10 classroom, 10 class. So we help them with books for 2 classroom, and then local people raise fund together and they make more than 8 library for themselves. It's kind of a local contribution. It's very low cost library. It's about 80 US dollar for Forex. And then when the local government sees it's very useful and very effective, so they make a local policy, district level policy. So more than in one district in Thái Bình province in 2011, they relegate 1,000 classroom library by the local fund. About 90% of the libraries from local parents. And then the local provincial level, they have a dispatch to replicate the model at provincial level. And in 2015, I walked from the Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh to Saigon. It's about 1,700 kilometers to make awareness for the Vietnamese people and for government. And then after the work, I work with the ministers of education, and we make a kind of audit pass to encourage all the people all over Vietnam to make a classroom library with the fund from the parents. And until now, there are 40,000 library already built. And 2 million children in Vietnam in rural area have a book for reading. So now a lot of civil group replicate my model, and a lot of people, alumni of school, they take home with books. The same level, the same model with the Lokhani. And I think in 5 years later, it's about 300,000 classroom library will be built by the local fund, local people. And
excellent. Yeah,
for India, I and Mr. Lokhandi, Mr. Artist, is building national strategy so that we advocate the Ministry of Human Resources and Development,
right,
to have that kind of soft policy to encourage all the Indian from overseas and local Indian and middle class of Indian to build classroom library. It costs about 100 million US dollar. It's about around 8 million classroom library, and costs about 600 million US dollar. I think it's in hand. It's easy to do. So now Mr. Lokhandi, Mr. Atit, and I, and Mr. Twai, and we built a national strategy. And I will work with UNESCO to promote this model, this message to Indian, to other country.
Excellent and wonderful to see the success that you have achieved and how many other NGOs are replicating your model. So
I want to add some more point about Mr. Thach.
I want to come to you, sir. Yeah, please go on.
Yes, Mr. Thach speak. As you know, Mr. Thach have done great work in Vietnam, and many person, poor student and poor person in Vietnam can inherit what he have done for Vietnamese education. And for the question, how to make the low code education in Vietnam, I think Mr. Thach, the model Mr. Thach doing in Vietnam is one of the model for the low cost education. But I think in the future we should have the online learning, online studying. Because some years ago, when I was studying in India, Pune University, I see that India have very good online education system. Many students from Scheme Manipur University, around million of students, they can follow the cost of the cost of maybe $10 or $20, 2,000 rupee per course. Very no cost education based on IT online learning. So I think that for Vietnamese to have a no code education, we should apply the online studying, online learning. We should offer the online course so that we can have a no cost education for Vietnamese.
Excellent, thank you. So I think Mr. Vu and Mr. Thach are two of our friends from Vietnam connecting us. And as the India-Vietnam relation is strengthening, so is our bonding between Mr. Vu and Thach with Mr. Lokhande and Dr. Sharma and us. I want to come now without wasting any more time. I want to come to a very crucial point from my experience that I have seen in life, that we in one hand or in one side, we have models like Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. Mohammad Yunus have done wonderful work in helping hundreds and thousands of people, for which he got the Nobel Prize. Now, I think one Pakistani Nobel Prize laureate also is doing some work on the women empowerment and this thing. Now, in India, Kailash Satyarthi has done a different job, but the common challenge, so these are big success models, and there are hundreds and thousands, in fact, in millions. We have such organizations who are contributing, the micro enterprises who are contributing to the society. The real and one common challenge is fundraising. generating money for the cause that they are fighting for. I want to learn from you, because everyone, the moment anyone who can get a innovative financing model, there's a sure shot success of their model. So I want to learn from your experience. What are the, because American experience of fundraising would be very different from Indian and maybe that of Vietnam. I want to know from you, what are the innovative fundraising models that you can guide to such millions of self-help groups or micro enterprises who are coming into existence? Maybe as ladies first, so Christiana will have a chance to speak first. Unmute yourself and talk, please. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I am
the fundraising.
Yeah.
Okay. Your question was, what is the fundraising model?
Absolutely. So what are the different kind of fundraising models are there in Europe and Western world?
So right now, majority of our fundraising models are using Facebook ads and like targeted email marketing strategies or text message as well. So it depends on what your initiative is. And again, who your market is. If they are a population that is always on their phone, text messaging, WhatsApp, sending them links to donate, referring to a friend via email. If you share it 5 times, you get a gift card. All of those type of things work really well with fundraising in our communities, especially when it's political. Text messaging and Facebook Messenger are huge right now.
I see. Thank you. Dr. Yogita?
Fundraising ideally comes through either angel funders or, from your pocket money that you have been keeping aside for starting up this business. But ideally, especially for the startup, not for the existing businesses, but for the startup, ideally it would be good if they do not go to angel funders or, on the for a big ticket to the VCs. Okay, what happens is once you are actually connected with the angel funders, they start actually working across on the commercial part of your business. So the redefining of the product, or according to the market research, the way your placement of the product gets impacted due to that. Okay, and it's only at the end does the startup founder realizes that what a big mistake he has done by getting the. Ideally, there are a lot of schemes in India which help the for the startups also and for the existing businesses, especially for the women entrepreneurs also. There are a lot of schemes which do help the women to work across on their get the working capital or operational costs, or even buying some certain equipment. So there are various schemes like for the tiffin thing that I had just been explaining. There's this Annapurna scheme. There's the Sri Shakti scheme, and then there are various non-banking financial institutions who also help them, and these self-help groups also cooperatively to take up certain funds. Okay, and there is a kind of moratorium period, and then the repayment is also very generous. I mean, it's not like the angel funders or the VCs. You really are after. They are really after their investment. I mean, so there's a very wonderful balance kind of thing. If you are wanting to do a very small micro entrepreneurship level business, there are wonderful schemes from the government. And whereas at the startups, there are more aggressive and very advantageous schemes, but then they really need to be understood end to end.
Thank you. Mr. Pradeep Lokhande, your experience about fundraising.
Now, fundraising is, in my opinion, is comparatively easy.
Okay.
Subject to what you have. What has happened in this country? We have 40 lakh NGOs in this country. 40 lakh is a big number. It's a huge number. And everybody goes to the same people asking for money. And the problem starts. So I never do a crime business. So my answer to fundraising is, there are 3 major options. One is, and one of the finest is mouth-to-mouth publicity. It's very important. And in India, it is very important. Then create a trust, belief, and create your beneficiary as your advertiser. Your beneficiary should talking about it more, and then you start getting the money. And the third and very important, and now it's in thing in this country, it's called CSR, corporate social responsibility. Huge money is going to come in it. Huge money has come in it. Around 32,000 crore rupees will be spent on doing a good activities in and around cities and in rural India. So how best we can take the buy of that 32,000 crore rupees. This is how I'm looking at it. But again, transparency and mouth-to-mouth publicity and no look back there. No look back. Believe me, friend.
Super.
I would like to add, Akram, one more thing is, there are some Crowdera kind of platforms, wherein you can post your requirement for a particular ticket size, and people do raise funds for that. And especially for the social entrepreneurship or the social innovation part, I mean, the platforms like Crowdera and other kind of such platforms can also be very helpful to run such initiatives.
Super. Mr. Wu and Mr. Taj, some models from Vietnam.
In Vietnam, I have very optimal model. We raise very small funds to my NGO, and I use that funds to buy only books for 2 or 3 classrooms, and then local people they mobilize themselves, and they buy the more book, build more library, and now a lot of groups in Vietnam they replicate they copy my model, and they do it everywhere. Everywhere. And we have a very simple model. I have, I call 5 students, 5 alumni of a school in rural area, please contribute $10 US, 12 US. So 5 people contribute $12 US, they have $60 US, so they can build 1 classroom library. So I raised some article about like the sharing economy. That is a very effective sharing economy. Contribute 12 US, but the children can reach $60 US in book. And the parent, another kind of fundraising. The parent of children contribute $1 or $2 US per year. So they have your children can reach $100 US in book.
Awesome. Mr. Wu?
As you can see, Vietnam is a very poor country, and we have many years in the wars, not in the peace. So we have a tradition of helping each other in the poor situation. So in Vietnam, not a model for fundraising in Vietnam, but I think that before we have the model, we should answer the question: what is the model for the fundraising, and who can benefit from it? From my point of view and my experience, I think that's some good fundraising. We should have the benefit for the social, for the poor people, and for the people who don't have a chance, much chance in the life. So for good fundraising, we should give out the model that is good for social benefit, so that we can have a good fundraising.
Wonderful. I want to come to 2 more points. There are a lot of questions, in fact, I have. And Dr. Sharma is making my job tougher day by day with a lot of, by connecting experts like you and giving me tough topic. Like now, I want to just for the simple common man, academic institutions or education infrastructure that different countries have is a huge infrastructure. In India, we have 1.3 million education institutions, starting from schools to colleges to universities, 13 lakh education institutions. And in this setup, there are 33 crore people, which means 330 crore students, teachers, faculty members are connected. Now, a country of India's magnitude, 330 million connected in the education system, they are also directly and indirectly, which is 1/3 of the population, are also directly and indirectly connected with the entire 135 crore of India's population. If we can like make the maximum use of the government, public, private, rural, urban, all this education infrastructure for all the social activity that we are doing, I think that can do a tremendous amount of uh, benefit to the society. This is just not for the case of India. This is the case for all. America has the best and the most advanced education system in the upper higher education. So is the Vietnam. Vietnam's education system is equally good in terms of infrastructure and the numbers. Now, I want to have your view on this. How can we make? How far are we making good use of our this infrastructure, and how can we do better use of this? Starting again with ladies first. So, Christina.
So thank you for that question. That's an interesting question that I always think about. So USA, personally, for what in my experience, when you want to influence the government, you do it through the non-government organizations, the community organizations. So you can have a test base or a case study to prove your argument. When you come to government organizations, you have to have your receipts in order. This is where I've proved it. This is where I've gotten buy-in. And that has been the most effective way for us to change policy. It does sometimes people do get violent, but like protests and everything to be loud and get government's attention. That is effective to an extent, but you have to have a test case to back up what you're trying to change. I think that we do a good job at recognizing what needs to happen, but sometimes to change the government, it takes more than 6 months. It's a prolonged experience. Sometimes it can take up to 3 years to change a policy. So when you have your test case, you have to also have patience and continue to fight for what you want to change. So you have to have patience and determination.
Thank you. Dr. Yogita?
Yeah, I guess we are already a step towards that when we have introduced incubation centers or, the MSME incubation model in the schools, colleges. Now, even the adult tinkering labs have introduced some kind of research-based innovations in the schools also. Yeah. So using the infrastructure from the institute, like their testing labs and the kind of sample testing that can be done in the institution level with the professors and they can also help to contribute towards coming up with such kind of entrepreneurial activities. So I think we are already one step into it. What can happen is if an industry academia interfacing can be strengthened, it would really help to take up this initiative in a very stronger way. I mean, even now, if you see in the rural arenas, some institutes like a few that I know in Nagpur also, they are already working on some kind of projects in the rural sector, rural technologies, developing certain kind of technologies for the villagers. Maybe water conservation, maybe ecosystem, maybe kind of developing apps for their online commercial kirana walas and all those kind of things. So we are already a step into it. What could bring more, kind of interaction is the institutes also accepting that students are not just into the academic part, but they are also even the professors getting involved. They have such wonderful knowledge and experience. So they getting involved and developing something for the world. That's very important. I mean, I know in Germany, like they have this Fraunhofer Institute, wherein the professor and the team, they are already working on some kind of an project which would help the industry to maybe develop its production, maybe assembly line, and develop its production or something of that sort. The same thing, even with through GIZ, I've been doing here in Nagpur. We have connected certain institutions with certain industries, and they are trying to resolve the problems that are faced at the industry level. This could be one of a very strong steps we can go further on that, and utilizing the institutional labs and other things.
Mr. Lokhande, your view on this?
Yes. What has happened in this country, I'm talking about India and especially rural India. Now, we are not going by education. We are going by how good building they have of a school. That is the biggest problem. It's a mindset. Biggest hopeless mindset we have. Because we are looking only at the building, not inside the building. That is the biggest problem. So, even in rural India, now they are building big buildings to educate the student. No crying business again. The answer is, we have to now concentrate on only and only occasional. And that is the answer. There is no answer left. How best we can create blue and green professionals and give them a dignity. Blue and green professional. Now we don't require clerks. Finished. But what the educational system teaches us to be a clerk and nothing more than that. So answer to that is how best we can connect the industry to the school. Now, for an example, I always say, why not basically we are an agrarian country, but there is no subject as agriculture in our education. Why? So my daughter doesn't know where pumpkin comes. She doesn't know. She doesn't know it is inside the or outside. She doesn't know that. So no respect to the farmer. These are the problems. So agriculture occasional is required. I'll give another example. White collar example. Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Can anybody explain me? Who will explain better? You know, the boy who is working in that Kirana store will tell you what comes in and what goes out. So that's the problem. You take any BCom graduate to a bank and ask him to fill the form without asking the manager. I challenge you. Out of 100 will ask, kahan bharna hai, where to write, how to write, what to write. This is the problem. So how best we can do the practical education? The answer is practical education, occasional, agriculture, and practical. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thatch, how is it happening in Vietnam? How are you involving your educational institutions or organizations in the system?
Because in Vietnam, the library system, the school library system is very bad operationally, very badly operational for about four decades. So no one raised their voice. So I myself have to devote about more than 20 years to raise my voice everywhere, in the newspaper, on TV, and Vietnam, America, England, France, Germany, Japan, South Korea, articles, newspaper to raise Vietnam problem. So that I want to brainwash, to watch the brains of the local of the government about the problem, about reading of the children, about reading comprehension of the children. Because in Vietnam, only textbooks, not read any book outside textbook. So that's the problem. So I have to develop four library models. First one in classroom, second one in clans, family library, and the third one parent libraries for Catholic Church, and pagoda and for prison. So I practice. I agree with Mr. Lockhandy. Practice, and raise our voice from the practical best. From bad practice model. So government hears our voice, and now the government and Congress already invited me to develop the policy for themselves. for themselves.
Definitely clear that. Mr.
Yeah.
Wu, your view on how can we innovatively use our education institutions into micro enterprises development and community development activity?
From my point of view, to have an innovation in education, we should have to for Vietnam. We should have to do three of the following things. As you can see, I have a 15 year in education, in high school, in university, and in college in Vietnam. So I think the first thing now we have to apply the technology in education, and technology can help to have a very good education and a very no code education, and everyone can afford of it. Secondly, AI. Now I'm working in the company, but when I recruit a student graduate from university or college, I think that their soft skill, working skill is very very quick. So we should teaching the working skill, the soft skill in the system of education in Vietnam also. Third, we should connect the industry to the school, because without practical skill, it is very hard to have the student to have the person after graduating from university or college, they can work successfully. So we should connect the industry to the school, so that the student can have a practical training, practical experience from the industry.
Excellent. Dr.
Can I
Sharma? Yeah.
May I?
So for community development, as far as the population that needs the change, to help activate them and to understand, take a step to educate them, you have to make the information or that development relatable to them. Like explain to them why this development will benefit their life. That's also a huge thing that I do with my work, is with the communities that I work with. I explain to them why this opportunity is for them. Because the biggest time, sometimes they don't think that it's for them. They think it's for other people that are richer or a different race than them. So it's huge to make sure that you understand how this development benefits your population, so you can have their buy-in as well.
Okay. Mr. Thaj.
Last week I connected Mr. Astis and some English school in London to launch online course. So your children in India can learn English, science and mathematics from the AV Academy from England. So I agree with that, Mr. Thai. We need to advocate policy for online education, because that make very cheap, very low cost education, and we can make the world outside Western country, American to Indian children. So now we are mobilize the volunteer from England, from America, to have Vietnamese children with online course. So I think because last year I went to India with Mr. Lokhandi, and I see that a lot of rural children in India very bad at English. So we need to make the online course to them, and we have lots of device like a laptop and to connect internet to them and teach the English, mathematics, and science kind of education STEM to Indian people, Indian rural children.
Now, can I request Dr. Sharma to come in? He is putting me in danger by inviting such excellent panel, and then he is running away. So
no,
Dr.
I
Sharma,
am there.
This is also your favorite subject, and I think your view is equally pertinent.
Yeah. So what I do is with the colleges, with my 2 decades of experiences with the college interfaces, what we found was that usually the college is very reluctant to pay any money. Okay, for vocational extra skilling, unless and until it is an absolute need, by the government intervention. So what we have done is we set up free entrepreneur varsities within colleges. And also for the school, we have a kind of a project management initiative. It is like a My Nukkad concept. It's a local concept where we can, it is like a digital finance literacy program where we can educate a student about computer and the basic essence of computerization, as well as we teach them this debit credit in a very simple manner. And we actually build community projects using that particular platform. So a group of students can actually collaborate and try to solve one particular pain point, no, of a community. It could be as simple as there is no street light for so many days. So street light is costing maybe 100 rupees. So 10 students will collaborate and just raise 10 rupees fund, no, and solve that particular problem of a street light. This is just one example I'm giving you. So these are the initiatives which we are doing, and rest is we are already there. We are collaborating and bringing in more seniors, and we want to learn from them and improve ourselves.
Absolutely. And this is wonderful. And I'm really motivated that if I can be of any help, which I'm already there doing, this can be a wonderful model. My final question, like we are almost 1 hour in the show. The final question is, there are two other aspects which is creating havoc, impact in the things that we are talking. One is globalization. We don't know. We all know globalization is there. We can feel it. We can, we move and use it every day. Now, how can we make maximum use of the globalization in today's context? One corona globalization has isolated the whole human being into their houses and homes. Similarly, it has given tremendous benefits to the world. The other thing which has equally made impact in the human life is technology. How can this micro enterprises, the field that you are working in, this globalization and technology can help them to better their and increase more efficiency in the system? So maybe Dr. Yogita, this time we can start with you.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this technology, AI, and many other things are greatly helping even the micro entrepreneurs. One of my women entrepreneur who had a hobby and she learned chocolate making. She turned these chocolates into Ayurveda chocolates with neem and aloe vera into it. Then she had some protein chocolate for children who would not drink milk. She had some diabetic related chocolate wherein even a diabetic patient can eat a chocolate and not have the sugar part. So, she developed that, and this is reached across the world now. The Germans are very happy to have it and then sell it across in Germany. We have requirement from London coming over, New Zealand coming over. So when you talk about globalization, seriously, these things have been very easier these days. Earlier, it would take even, years to grow your business out of your own city. Nowadays, this has really become very wonderful, and with the online platforms, your networking platform, e-commerce platforms, it's becoming very, very easy. So, micro entrepreneurs, they just need to be aware that there is something which they can float across. The quality and the kind of, packaging that is required as per the standard. That is very important. If that is in place, I think globalization is helping the micro entrepreneurs in a long way. Or somebody sitting in maybe Texas or even in Washington thinks that he can invest in an enterprise here in a village. So this is where the globalization is bringing us. Okay, absolutely. It is bringing competition enough, but then also there are full, benefits out of it.
Thank you. How more can we take advantage of it, Christina?
So I think that we can take advantage of globalization by partnership. If when I was younger, we had a pen pal system where we would have a person that we would talk to in a different state, a different country. I think that would be the same concept that we need to effectively mobilize globalization. If we have a partnership with an organization that does something that we want to do or does something that's opposite of us, to bring an unbiased opinion inside of our ecosystems. I think that's the most effective way to just exchange information and build relationships that are necessary for change.
Absolutely. Excellent. Mr. Lokhande?
Yeah. Now we have to go. I have just 3 points. 3 points. You have to go local to local, local to national, and national to international. Go by phases. Don't think immediately I want to go to US. That's the another problem in this country. We have to grow organically. Otherwise, it is always a problem. So this is 3 steps you can take and reach to the goal. Yes, globalization has already happened, but whatever small organization you have, do the specialization. That one word attract a lot of things: money, manpower, respect, everything. For an example, as I've told you, we are an agrarian country. How best we can produce organic food and feed to the world? It's a huge need now. Everybody is afraid. Everybody is afraid. So how best we can do that? So my looking at it is, do best. World will come to you. Do best, but world will come to you. No need you should go to the world. World will come finding you that how best. Now I can give an example. There is a one district called Satara. I think now Thatch know that district. Satara is 100 kilometers away from Pune, where they produce haldi, turmeric. Now they are saying that ours is organic and one of the best in the world. Now you of that area, he will say that now I'm out of stock. It is done. It is done. But you have to maintain the quality, because when you are giving produce to the world market, quality control, consistency is very, very important. Now the new generation is aware about that and they are doing wonderful.
Thank you.
They will do wonderful. But again, vocal to okay.
Superb. So there is a little internet issue with your connection.
Yes.
So that's why we are not able to get it. So okay, now coming back to two of our guests from Vietnam, Mr. Thatch and Mr. Vu. Your like this, how can we make maximum use of globalization and technology, which you partially answered before, but a little more focus on that.
I think we combine the platform economy, sharing economy, and international volunteerism combined, and to make low-cost education for all. Yeah, that I think that solution.
Super, Mr. Gu.
Yes, as you can see, globalization it brings a lot of challenges and opportunity for the people also. As you can see, for the challenging, it can increasing a lot of competition for the world today. But we can have a lot of opportunity and benefit from globalization to get maximum benefit from globalization. For me, first we should have a better product at the lower price, and secondly, we should have a collaboration and share resource for between the culture, between the people, and thirdly, we should have a broad cultural exchange. And lastly, we should spread our knowledge and technology for all the people, so that we can have a maximum benefit from globalization.
Super. Okay, so we have discussed from 4 different angles. One is innovative fundraising. Second was the use of technology and globalization, and the third was education infrastructure. I think we wonderfully covered different perspective to how they can help in the system. Now, maybe a 30 seconds final message that we would like to take from the 2 perspectives. One, from the policy making perspective, that what can or should government do more. The second is your master advice to all these micro enterprises who are already contributing, and what kind of help can you provide on this? Maybe Dr. Yogita, and then Dr. Sharma will give the concluding remarks. Yeah.
It was really
Sorry.
very enlightening. Yes, you were saying something.
Yeah, please go on, Dr. Yogita.
So thank you for this enlightening session. I mean, I have also got a lot of insights with all these things. Two things that I would like to stress upon is the awareness programs. I mean, the schemes that are being developed or being, floated across. Not many entrepreneurs are not aware about it. Maybe not a separate, what you can say, a portal, but at least if there is a separate link for, especially for the women entrepreneurs, because I'm today the topic is more on the focused on the women entrepreneurs. So if there's a separate link which explains, these are the various schemes available for you, these are the subsidies available for you, these are the online portals available for you. So this would actually, inculcate a risk-taking ability for women entrepreneurs. They feel capable of coming out and, doing a business. And if at all you, I work with women entrepreneurs, and day by day, I get insights on, what are their challenges. Everybody has very different challenges, unique challenges that they are facing. Most important thing is the market research. For whom is your product targeted for? If you are into education, the students are not your target audience. The parents are your target audience. Okay. So actually, are you targeting? That is very important. The peripheries are very important. We just, it's like, going to Africa and selling lipstick. I mean, who would want to buy lipstick in the earlier days, wherein there is a need for survival? Okay, so you need to know your market very. Market research has to be done prominently. Just funding, there's even Mr. Lokhande and Christina has said, it's very. Funding is no more an issue. You always get good funding, you get support, financial support. But the concept or the product that you are developing should be sustainable. After 2 years, do you have competition for this? Are you able to redefine this to stay in the market? These things are really very important, which are really neglected these days. This is my very...
Thank you. 30 seconds, Christina. Your special advice to the people. Yeah.
I would say I would piggyback off the market research, know who you are trying to target. I would also say have an open mind throughout the process. When you begin, understand what resources you already have and leverage those to get to your next step, and continue to do that as you grow and as you gain buy-in from people and your influencers. I'm open to have conversations with anybody. I can drop my LinkedIn in the chat. Thank you so much for having me. This was a great conversation, and I learned so much from you all.
Thank you. Mr. Lokhande, your final message.
I actually generally don't give that 4 words. I am answerable, I am accountable, and I believe in feedback, and I believe in follow-up. And anybody who wants to go to rural India, over and above commercial interest, I'll be more than happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Awesome. Mr. Thatch? Mr. Thatch and Mr. Wu? Whoever.
Mr. Wu.
Mr. Wu? Final message?
In a few words, as you can see, the globalization is taking place everywhere, every corner in the world. So to get the benefit from it, and we should collaborate with each other, share the resource knowledge, and we should apply the information technology in education and other fields of the life. Thank you so much for a very good forum today. I hope that we can meet again. Thank you so much.
I want to say something. For me, wholeheartedness to devote the community the best is the best. So that's why I and Mr. Lokhandi, Mr. Atit, Mr. Choi, and some from Vietnam to work how the work in India. That was a problem to international community. Our work already published on UNESCO website. So I want to use my work, my footstep to do more work in India, so that to awake the to make awareness for billions of India people to do something for their country, to make India powerful.
Thank you. May I now invite the mastermind of this important discussion to give his concluding remarks.
So first and foremost, I thank all the speakers because we got to learn a lot. And what we have been doing with US Impact is basically to strengthen the US-India relation. We are continuously trying to identify opportunities which can enhance the Indian citizens staying in USA, or how a collaborative business opportunity can happen. So what we thought was it would be a good sense to have such collaborations with other countries also. And there is a continuous need for policy formation. So definitely there is a need for more policies for collaboration, which government also needs to take. And we are anyway doing our own bit. So let us keep continuing our effort. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Take care. Take care. Take care.
Very nice discussion. Viewers, if you are watching, do subscribe to our channel for more such programs to come, and definitely watch us. And I just have just one message for anyone in any field that you are working. Try to solve a real problem that this society is facing. The whole world will come to support you. I think let us find the problem in the society and just solve it. Thank you. Keep watching Policy Times.
Take care. Take care. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Goodbye. See you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Take care. Bye, Dad. Bye.